It was a good weekend for the green and gold in the city of Cleveland. The A's took 2 out of 3 from the Tribe and continue to have great success on the road. Tonight, the Athletics travel to Houston and will have their hands full as they take on the division-leading Astros. It has been a struggle for the A's this year versus the reigning World Series champs, but with 10 games left against Houston, the A's can make a statement versus the American League elite. A's, Astros, game 1 of 4. Next. Well, stop 2 on this 10-game road trip for the Athletics is Houston, Texas. We're at Minute Maid Park. That's the home of the world champion Houston Astros. Game 1 of the series, Frankie Montas against the All-Star Garrett Cole. That is the matchup. Game 1 of the series. It's the A's and the Astros coming up on NBC Sports California, powered by Xfinity. Hi again, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. Well, yesterday after the game, the rosters were announced for this year's All-Star Game. Ray, Blake Trinan made it for the Athletics, and I think you can make a good point. He has been the best closer in the American League this year. I think you could say that. Oh,
he deserves it. It goes back to Washington. Remember, the A's traded for him from Washington. He was originally in the Athletics, but the job that he has done, how about 22 saves, sub-1 earned run average. He's got the turbo sinker that he can throw 100 miles an hour. He has the outstanding slider. He's just a great pitcher, a great person that you would like to turn to at the end of a ball game where you have a chance to win. You turn to Blake Trinan. More times than not, he's going to do what he has done very consistently all season, and that is save the ball game. 22, very deserving for him to be going to Washington.
For the Houston Astros, they're 61-31. That's the 3rd best record in the big leagues, and they have 5 All-Stars going to Washington, D.C. Nobody's a surprise here. Jose Altuve was the leading vote getter, nearly 5 million votes. Bregman goes for the first time. Springer goes for the second time. Verlander, he's been terrific. And Garrett Cole, his 2nd All-Star selection, and Garrett Cole will pitch tonight against the Athletics.
And the A's are going to see 4 of the 5 of their starting pitchers. Dallas Keuchel will not be seen in this series, but this young man is 2-0 in 3 starts against the Athletics. One game he had 12 strikeouts, so yes, he can throw the fastball, throw the breaking ball, and you know what? He's not afraid to throw at people either. We've seen some of the fights that he has been involved in, but the main thing about him, the Astros got him. He's an outstanding pitcher, and he is starting tonight.
And Frankie Montas will look for his 5th win of the year. Up next, we will check back in with the A's pregame live studios. Other than back here to downtown Houston, lineup's first pitch, game 1 of the series, A's and the Astros.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota. Let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares. No hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $5.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box.
So Garrett Cole and the Astros take the field, all white uniforms tonight, as it's game one of a 4-game series between the A's and the Houston Astros. Game time weather is presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is open daily. Roof is closed, as it should be. It's very hot and very humid this time of year in Houston, Texas. 86 degrees. So, luckily, it's a retractable roof.
Got to hydrate.
Yes, you do. All right, let's take a look at the Athletics lineup for game one. It's brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Fowler, Canna, Lowry, Davis, Olson, Piscotti, Chapman, Simeon, Lucroy. There's the A's lineup.
Well, and Garrett Cole is starting for the 4th time against the Athletics. He's 9-2 on the season, 2-0 against the Athletics. He likes his fastball, not afraid to throw it. But he also has an assortment of pitches that he's not afraid to throw any of those at any time. But great acquisition by the Houston Astros from the Pittsburgh Pirates to go along with Justin Verlander. Pretty good starting staff for the Astros.
First pitch of the ball game is a strike on the outside corner to Dustin Fowler. 260 his average, 6 homers and 20 RBIs for Fowler. He's got 3 doubles and he's got a triple. That is Larry Vanover, who's calling balls and strikes, and he is the crew chief. Blackney, Rackley, and Wendelstedt rounded out.
And we always like to see the defensive alignment, especially in the outfield. Josh Reddick, remember the leadoff home run that Fowler hit on Friday night in Cleveland? Look where Reddick is playing. Unbelievable how the defense is aligned. They really take away the right field foul line. And that's just an example of one of the hitters. And if guy does that, it doesn't matter where the defense plays.
Well, it's a high fastball, tough to catch up with, and Fowler strikes out. Here is the Astros defense. Kyle Tucker, he is the Astros' #1 prospect. When he's in the big leagues now, he's in left. Springer's in center. Reddick is in right. Bregman, Gonzalez, Altuve, and Tyler White at first. And Tim Fedorovich is your catcher. So a few names that you're not used to seeing with the Astros, and Carlos Correa's on the disabled list, so that one is hit deep to left center field, but it looks like it's going to stay in the ballpark as Springer has enough room and he makes the catch. So 2 away here in the first. Well, any 95-mile-per-hour fastball in our game is our fast pitch, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest Wi-Fi at home and on the go.
I'd say we'll see a few tonight.
Yes, we will.
I think we will. Frankie Montas will throw in the mid to upper 90s, as well as Garrett Cole, whose lowest of his 4 seam is 95, so he should be popping up 95 plus pretty consistently.
Here's Jed Lowry. First pitch is outside. Cole runs it up there. Highest average fastball velocity in the big leagues. Garrett Cole is second. 96 or make it third, excuse me, 96.3 miles per hour. So that may have something to do, Ray, with the way that the Astros play left-handed hitters in the outfield.
Exactly right.
I would imagine it does. Because he's not afraid to elevate the ball either.
Right. And the thing is, with a short Crawford box in left field, as the defense shading Jed Lowry to pull on the infield.
Yeah, we're talking about the outfield.
Exactly.
Tucker coming in. He's got it. So it's a 3-up, 3-down inning. Just 8 pitches needed for Garrett Cole. the bottom of the first. Their lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Here it is. Springer, Bregman, Altuve, Reddick, Gaddis, Gonzalez, Tucker, White, Federovich.
Frankie Montas on the mound, making his second start against the Astros this season, and like to prove on what he did on June the 14th against the Astros, as he went 5 1/3, 11 hits in the game. He walked 4. So Frankie, who has 4 wins on the season, first loss actually came against these Astros, then beat the Padres with a lot of run support. Good fastball, slider and a changeup, 2 and 4 seam. Looking to have a good outing tonight.
Mighty swing by Springer on the first pitch that he sees. 0-1 the count. Springer at 248, 15 home runs, 43 RBIs. An all-star for the second time.
George Springer does not get cheated. The leadoff hitter. He's not your prototypical leadoff hitter, especially with his leadoff home runs. Plus on the season, his totals are off the charts. Someone said he's struggling.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah. I would not take that to the bank, though. I'd say that the way he swings, I mean, the World Series last year was proof of that, where he struggled. They thought about sitting him out, and A.J. Hinch says, nope, he's going to stay there. 5 leadoff home runs, most of the majors. 23 career, still way back from the great Ricky Henderson.
Takes a close pitch, and the count 2-2.
Yeah, but I think the biggest thing for Montas, when he walked 4 of these Astros, and you give up 11 hits and 4 walks, that's a lot of traffic. A couple of 2-out runs in the first inning. Start he had against the Astros.
Chapman charges. He's got it near the bag. Throws across in time. So Springer is out 1 away here in the bottom of the first. The A's defense has Canna in left, Fowler in center, Piscotty in right. Chapman, Simeon, Lowry, Olson on the infield. And Jonathan Lucroy is your catcher. So here comes Alex Bregman. Bregman is an all-star for the first time this year.
Probably the first of many. Player of the month in the month of June. Off the charts, a lot of walk-offs, and just turned out to be a very, very good third baseman.
He had 30 RBIs in the month of June, giving him 57 now on the year.
I think the story, and we'll talk about him when he comes up, is Evan Gaddis, who is leading the team with 62, and he started out with 9 in the month of April.
To Lowry on the first, 2 away.
Now that's a good start. Good ground ball outs, and against the Astros he had 11 of them. So if the sinker is working, to get the hitters to beat the ball on the ground, which would be a big plus for him. Montas, that is.
So 2 away, and here's Jose Altuve. Always a good way to face Altuve is with 2 outs and the base is empty.
Talking to a scout today, and they said he's the best bad ball hitter in baseball.
Oh,
which means you can't pitch to him.
Doubt about that.
Yeah, I mean, and he's proof that he's aggressive.
Like that.
Not surprising. Swings at the first pitch.
Fowler hustling in, and Fowler a nice running catch. He had a long ways to go. He was shaded a little bit toward left center field.
about it would be a lie, but it wouldn't be the end-all make-all. I feel like a lot of us here have had really good seasons, and you can throw like four guys' names around that could have an opportunity to be there. And we're still waiting for Jed to get completely through, because he's had one heck of a year, and I'd let him take my place any day, because he's had his year is incredible, as you see today. It's just typical Jed. So I'm excited to go back, see some friends. It's kind of cool, place where I debuted, and just last year being removed from there. So yeah, it'll be fun. Looking forward to it.
So good stuff for Blake Trinan, the A's All-Star. And if you know Blake Trinan, what he said about Jed Lowry, he really
absolutely.
He's a good man, Blake Trinan.
I did him on the pregame on the radio, and I mentioned Luke Trevino, and he says, I'm glad you mentioned him, because he's up and coming, and he's going to have a lot of All-Stars. So, Blake Trinan's that way, and not surprising to hear him talk about his teammates. And as he said also, and it really is true that the offense doesn't score runs, and the guys in the setup in the bullpen to get the ball to him, but it's nice to know that if you can get the ball to someone like Trinan as a closer, you've got more chances than not that you're going to win. How about 22 in a row that he has saved? And as you said tonight, it'd be great to get him the ball tonight, because that means the A's are going to have the lead.
So we'll go through all the rosters, the starters in the American League, starters in the National League, and the full rosters. Right now, 31 guys on each team. In the final vote, we'll add the 2 more players, 1 to each league, for the final count of 32 players on each team. And we'll do our best to A's fans who are upset about Jed Lowry. Well, we'll do our best to try to make them feel a little bit better anyways. And Davis swings and misses, and that's the second strikeout. So let's get to the All-Star selection, starting with the American League starters. This was voted by the fans, and quite frankly, Ray, if you look at that, they did a pretty good job.
I think so too. I agree 100%. The outfield with Betts, Trout, and Judge, can't go wrong there.
No.
JD Martinez is the DH. He's off the charts with the home runs. Look at the infield. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, is having a great year, and we know Abreu at first. Altuve here with Ramirez we just saw.
I don't see a questionable selection on that. So that's a good job by the fans in the American League.
Yeah, I agree. And of course, JD Martinez was very outspoken about he thought the fans, should be the players voting, but as we have seen, that maybe.
Sorry, JD.
Yeah, exactly.
After what happened this year,
exactly.
I don't know that I agree with the players voting.
I was just going to say that, and I agree 100%. Here's probably a future All-Star, Matt Olson. But this is his first full season.
2-1 the count.
Great experience for a lot of these young players on the Athletics team, that they can play against the reigning world champions. They're going to face 4 outstanding pitchers in this series, starting tonight with Garrett Cole.
Strike, and it's 2-2, 97 miles an hour on the outside corner. Olson has never had a hit against Cole. He's 0 for 9. And Matt Olson, we've seen him hit the ball the other way pretty well, and with Cole throwing so hard, there's no reason why Matt Olson couldn't drop it in the Crawford box.
Exactly. And if he gets a breaking ball, pull it down the right field line.
Quick look at the National League starting lineup. Not the lineup, but the starters. Contreras, good young catcher. Freddie Freeman having a terrific season, as is Javier Baez. Boy, he is really coming to his own. Arenado, Brandon Crawford from the Giants will start at short. Markakis, Kemp, and Harper in the outfield. How about that? Nick Markakis, a terrific season. Matt Kemp rejuvenated his career. Again, is there any arguments there?
I think it's a great story. We know Arenado, looking forward to seeing him when the A's play the Rockies. But how about Matt Kemp? I mean, he was going to be released by the Dodgers. He was in the throw in. Hey, just take him, get him off our hands, and all of a sudden a tremendous season. Now he's an All-Star. And Nick Markakis, who we saw many years with the Orioles.
Olson pops it up. Everybody kind of looking at each other in the infield. Who's it going to be? It's going to be White. the big first baseman Tyler White. So that's out number 2. All right, let's look at the position player reserves in the American League. Mitch Moreland makes it for the first time. How about that? Gleyber Torres, the young second baseman. But keep this in mind, A's fans. Torres is on the disabled list, and he's going to be on the disabled list for a little while yet. Lindor, that's well deserved. Brantley as well. True goes for the first time. Mitch Haniger's having a terrific year. And Nelson Cruz, can't argue with him, as I guess they would say the backup designated hitter.
Which that one, I think, I mean, while Cruz is a great hitter, but why would you substitute for a DH who's just it's going to hit?
I agree. There's a lot of talk about how can you make the selection process better, and there's many different ways. One of the very small ways is, I agree, those players that we just showed, the backup players in all the positions, that is the player's vote.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I don't think you need to vote for a backup designated hitter.
I agree.
Towards Springer. All right, we're going to talk about Jed Lowry's chances to still get to the All-Star game. We'll do that when we come back. Don't score. Let's take a look at Jed Lowry in a terrific season for him so far. 9th in the league in hits, 2nd in the league in RBIs, and just on and on and on. You know it. You've watched it. We've seen it. Terrific season. Now, the situation with Jed Lowry, we all felt he should have made the All-Star team. He did not. The players' vote had Jose Altuve as the #1 second baseman and Gleyber Torres as the #2 second baseman. That's why Gleyber Torres was picked.
Yeah, that's true.
It's automatic. If that's the player's choice, then Torres goes. But Gleyber Torres, the young second baseman who's terrific from the Yankees, he's on the disabled list. So Jed Lowry's next in line, 3rd, but he's going to go. So there's a good chance that Jed Lowry will still make it to the All-Star game. And we don't want to get too complicated on this, that, and the other stuff, but I think he's got a pretty good chance to still make the trip to Washington, D.C. Evan Gattis, maybe a snub. That's the big word the last 18 hours, Ray. Snubbed.
Well, exactly. And, you know, let's think of one thing. 30 major league teams, 25 active roster, 750 players. And you're taking, what, 66?
32 on each team.
So 64. There's a whole bunch of snubs.
Yeah, you ain't lying. There's a lot of snubbing going on.
Yeah, there's so every year you got to say the same thing.
Yeah. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Now, lots of different things could be done, but it is quite the conversation piece, the All-Star rosters in Major League Baseball every year. 1-1 the count to Evan Gattis.
Yep.
Here's the American League pitchers who were selected for the All-Star game.
I'm glad Trevor made it because, you know, he said he was an All-Star, didn't deserve, and he did. Good ERA, good strikeouts. The closer in Chapman, that Cole the starter. Diaz, what a season he's having for the Mariners. Kimbrel, so you got some closers, you got starters that are playing very well.
Gaddis is retired. So a quick look at the National League reserves. Some familiar names on there. A couple of catchers. Posey made it again. A couple of first basemen as backups, Goldschmidt and Votto. Ozzie Albies is 21 years old, a star in the making. How about the Reds? They get 3 infielders on the National League All-Star team. Lorenzo Cain, Christian Yelich, 2 brand new Brewers. Their first year in Milwaukee, and they make it. So lots of talent. Of course, the biggest snub was Blake Snell, and boy, a lot of controversy. Blake Snell, the young left-hander for the Rays, who's having a terrific season, did not get in.
What, 12 wins?
Yes, he's 12-4. He leads the American League in ERA, and for some strange reason, he did not get in. I think he still will get in for maybe injury purposes or something, but
Verlander's already said he's not, because he's going to pitch Sunday. He's saying he's not going to pitch.
he's not. But Bauer took his
Bauer,
place.
exactly.
Yeah.
But I mean, there are going to be others that, for one reason or another, between now and there's the manager who has zero say,
He does.
except manage the game and make sure everybody gets in and
Pick a starting pitcher.
yeah. And here's from all the managers.
National League All-Star pitchers. Sean Doolittle makes it, so congratulations.
That's right.
Josh Hader, boy, what a story he has been for the Brewers, a left-hander. Wait till you see this guy pitch.
How about Miles Mikolas? He's the story. He's
That's right.
Some of the, Bob Nightingale was right, and he said, who would have thought that Mikolas would have been the first player from Japan to play in an All-Star game versus Shohei Ohtani?
He went to Japan, turned his career around, came back, and he's an All-Star. Yeah, so Blake Snell does not make it, Ray, and we hope he still gets in, but it was interesting. Again, and follow me on this, the players' ballot, where in the American League, they pick 17 positions, 8 pitchers and 9 position players. Of the pitchers, they pick 5 starters. This is the players' ballot.
Wow.
They did not pick Blake Snell. Now, the guys they did pick, they being the players, Severino, Verlander, Cole, Sale, and Kluber. You can't argue with any of
Right,
those.
right.
But what I can't really figure out is, so Snell does not make it on the players' vote, which, okay, get that. But then Major League Baseball picked Bauer to replace Verlander, so they passed him up there.
Poor Tampa.
My goodness.
Yeah, that is pretty surprising.
Snubbed. Tap back to Montos, bare hands, throws in time. Side retired. 2 on walk, nothing else. Scoreless after 2. Manfred from Minute Maid Park in Houston. Hey, so we got the final goodies on the All-Star game. This is the All-Star final vote candidates. Remember, 5 in each league. You vote for one guy. You can vote as much as you want, but one of those 5 from the American League is going to make it, and one of those guys from the National League is going to make it. So some interesting names on there. Segura and Simmons, 2 very good shortstops. 2 guys that should probably both be on there, but one of them will go. The other 4 will not.
And if you notice the guy's name Muncy on the right-hand side, that is the former Athletic Max Muncy. 20 home runs. Was it 20? Yeah.
Nope. Now that final voting ends Wednesday at 1 p.m. Pacific time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So you don't have a lot of time to vote for the final candidate. But the one guy in the American League and the one guy in the National League will get the rosters to 32.
And Cap, you'd have to think, you saw 2, one from Boston, 1 from the Yankees. You'd have to think they're going to get overloaded with the voting in those 2 cities. I mean, the name recognition alone, Giancarlo Stanton being one of them.
1-2 pitch, a high fastball. Chapman swings and misses.
And the high fastball, Cap, you said it best about the elevated fastball that he is capable of throwing. Down on the way target, up and in was the pitch at 96. One of the hardest pitches ever to catch up to, because it gives the feeling that it's rising but does not do it. It just gets elevated, and a very hard pitch for a hitter to, if he gets under it with the launch angle, it's going to hit straight up or on top. Not many can do it.
First pitch strike to Marcus Semien. 7 home runs, 31 runs batted in for Semien. It's a slider, so fastball slider and a quick 0-2.
And Tucker in left field, new to the ball club, is looking in, getting from somebody, because he just moved about another 20 feet from right center or left center to left field. Actually, before the previous pitch was thrown, and then moved even farther, which is surprising because we talked about when the pitcher throws mid to upper 90s with a fastball and a right-handed hitter, you figure he's not going to pull it. They're kind of bunching, as the outfielders do here in Houston, bunch towards the middle.
Outside corner, strike 3 call. 4 strikeouts for Cole.
I remember he had 12 against the A's in his first start. That first start, he was taken out of the game. This fastball, 97 outside corner.
Pitchcast brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company. Now this is Cole's 4th start against the A's this year. 2nd most strikeouts in franchise history before the All-Star break. 162. Boy, that is a lot. 162 strikeouts in 119 innings.
And against the A's on the season, he has 27 before tonight. And now he's already added 4 more.
Altuve spins, throws, and it's not in time. Lucroy hustling all the way, beat it out. Altuve made a great play. He just had so far to go. And the further he's running, that means Lucroy's got more time to run.
And he did not get a lot on the throw, and White had to stretch out. Now, all the while, Jonathan Lucroy smelling a base hit, and of course the fans oohing and eyeing because they were thinking perfecto, as this is the first base runner first hit against Garrett Cole. But back on April the 29th, it was Lucroy who had, I guess, ownage, if you will, that against, it was this pitcher, Garrett Cole. He came out, Harris came in, he got the base hit anyway, and Cole got a no decision when the Astros did win the game. But the guy, 6 2/3 innings. So we're not the manager, but he was taken out of the game, and that was after striking out 12.
He struck out Fowler to open up the ball game. Shift is on for Fowler. Pull on the infield, hit it the other way in the outfield. See that a lot.
Yes, we do.
StatCast powered by AWS. So you see the infielders, and then look above that, and you see the outfield. And he got him swinging. Nasty stuff from Cole. So he's got 5 strikeouts. A's get their first hit. Lucroy is stranded.
For all military by sharing a photo or video with hashtag Hats Off for Heroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Back here at Minute Maid Park in Houston, no score, bottom of the 3rd. Garrett Cole and Frankie Montas. Pitching matchup.
You know what's
For
nice
the
about
Astros, excuse me, Ray. Tyler White to lead it off.
Frankie Montas pitching. I mean, he's the rookie, and then you got the veteran and Garrett Cole. So, I mean, great incentive for Frankie Montas to, first of all, have a good outing for himself personally, but also to know that he's facing a team that he will not face Garrett Cole as a hitter, but his offense will. And got a quick pitch there. Was a pitch out of the strike zone.
Yuli Gurriel, the everyday first baseman for the Astros, just getting the day off.
It's not bad.
Mentioned earlier, the Astros without Carlos Correa, who is on the disabled list with some back stiffness. It's not considered serious, but he has been out for a couple of weeks. He took a few ground balls today, so the All-Star break coming up. This one is hit very high left field. Canna coming in. Canna's got it. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Here's our Coors Light refreshing finish. Brett Anderson back from the disabled list yesterday, and he pitched 5 innings, got the win in Cleveland. His first win this year. 5 innings, couple of walks, 3 strikeouts. He threw 96 pitches. Oh, it was good to get Brett Anderson a win. He's shut out the Indians.
Said he didn't feel he had his best stuff, but his first start since coming off the disabled list, first since maybe 18th, but he did quite well. It's funny, Kipe, he's bought into this thing about the A's scoring late. He said, man, I was upset when they scored early because I thought they were just going to score in the first and second and not late. But as it turned out, he's got his 2-run home run, made it a 4-0 game, which took a little pressure off him. Trevor Cahill is back and with the club, was working out today and throwing along with his teammate Brett Anderson.
Well, could see Cahill soon. We'll find out. 1-2 to Tim Fedorovich, the catcher.
Going to get an idea who's going to be pitching, and really don't know, but the ones who are told to take batting practice are the ones who are going to face the Giants this weekend, because those are the 3 games that the pitchers will be required to hit, or at least put a bat in their hand.
So that's certainly something we'll look for the next couple games.
Exactly. Follow Mike Aldrete around, the assistant hitting coach. He's the one that will take the pitchers into the batting cage.
The A's have Manaea scheduled tomorrow, Bassett Wednesday, Jackson Thursday. We'll see if
Manaea
stays that way.
Manaea did confirm he's pitching tomorrow.
So he's pitching tomorrow. So Sean Manaea, then, I mean, if you just did the math, he would be scheduled to pitch on Sunday in San Francisco. Again, these things could change with would be players coming off the disabled list, or who knows.
Well, as we talked in Cleveland, as the pitchers on the disabled list, especially the pitchers, start to get healthy, there will be some changes, and really it's up to management to decide who they want to stay with the club and pitch.
Swing and a miss. Fedorovich strikes out.
You know, Cap, we also have to factor in, and to see a pretty good fastball from Frankie Montas as he went after the catcher with the movement a little bit, although the four-seam fastball, but it had some cut action to it. You also have to look at who has options, because that's going to play a part in as pitchers come off. Guys who have been around and who don't have options left, you know, it's you either keep them or you expose them to another team. They can pick them up, try to clear waivers if you want to send them to the minor leagues. So a lot goes into decisions that are made, especially in the upcoming rest of this week before the All-Star break, 4 days next week.
Well, and two, if not, I guess that does come into play. But if you think about Frankie Montas, and the A's have said, you know, we want to be somewhat careful with his innings, and you have the All-Star break coming up. Would they use this start and then say, hey, we could give him a little bit of extra time through the break?
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
But the one thing about if Manaea starts tomorrow, which he said he is, and he pitches Sunday, he could start the post All-Star on Friday, because that's his normal 5th day. Now here's the record: last 4, the 1 and 2. Remember, started the season, or his season, with a 3-0 record. Pitched well enough at those games to pick up the win.
Springer drives from the left. Canna's in left center, and he makes the catch. So 3 up, 3 down inning for Frankie Montas. No score as we go to the 4th.
view parties for the A's Giants game this Saturday at O'Sullivan's in Newark. Win prizes, get free tickets, and play A's Plunko. Can't make it to O'Sullivan's? Well, head out to Pick 6 in Pleasanton or George and Waltz in Rockbridge. The game starts at 7:05, so make sure you are there. Should be fun. A viewing party. Just a party. That's A's baseball.
Top of the 4th inning. Just 1 hit in the game. It was Jonathan Lucroy's 2-out single. Canna, Lowry, and Davis in a swing and a miss.
Canna might have hit the hardest one so far tonight. From the A's anyway. Ball that was headed to center and caught by Springer. Okay, Mark Canna, of course, Matt Joyce on the disabled list, so Canna getting a lot of playing time, but he's also facing some pretty tough right-handed pitchers. Majority of his home runs, as we have detailed, have come against lefties.
That's the catcher, Tim Fedorovich. Brian McCann's on the disabled list as well, Ray.
Yes, he is.
With Carlos Correa.
Yeah. Talked to Max Stassi, who took a ball off his right wrist, and he's back. He said he's going to be playing, but McCann had his knee surgery and kind of a cleanup, if you will.
He is going to be back, Brian McCann. I'm not sure when.
He said 4 to 6 weeks. So, but you know, Astros have a pretty good team, and really Stassi has taken over. AJ Hinch, a former catcher himself, their manager, and be managing the All-Star team. But praising the work of Max Stassi from Yuba City, formerly with the Athletics, doing a very good job for the Astros.
Well, here's an interesting thought too, Ray. Brian McCann, who's a veteran, still a pretty good player, but the Astros have a $15 million club option on Brian McCann next year. That's a lot. I don't know that they'll pick that up. They may. But maybe this time now where McCann is on the disabled list, giving Stassi a chance to play a lot more may make them be able to make an easier decision going into next year, because they do love Stassi.
Absolutely.
And he's more of a defensive catcher, but he's showing some offensive skills this year.
I was looking at the notes and it had the star. I said, "Are you a rookie?" I said, "I've been around a long time, but still considered a rookie."
I mean, and it's not that Brian McCann is not still a productive player, but is he $15 million productive?
And really, he can handle a veteran pitching staff, but Stassi has been given that responsibility as well, and he's done a very good job. And he's really come into his own as a catcher defensively, and you know, with the offense on this club, anything he can provide, or McCann, and that from that standpoint, it really is a bonus, because I mean, you look around this infield, outfield, their lineup, they can score some runs.
Left center, that's hit well. Springer at the wall again in deep left center field. So Canna has come up just a little bit short twice in a very deep part of the ballpark.
Well, the problem for Canna, both times he's hit the ball to the deepest part of the park. Sounded great, but he's not being able to pull it enough. And you can credit Garrett Cole for that, because if he pulls it, it's way up on maybe visiting Bobby Dynamite. But this in left center and just not hit deep enough to even get up on the wall, and caught by Springer in left center.
Well, this ballpark, if you want to hit home runs, you need to pull it. Obviously, we know about the Crawford box is very short down the left field line, but it's pretty short to right as well. But once you get to right center and left center back by the A's bullpen, I think this ballpark gets pretty big.
And yet it's nothing really hard for a right-hander to go opposite field, as we have seen. Mark Canna, as a matter of fact, the last time the A's were here, hit a home run to right field.
Well, it's a low fence, and it's not deep from the foul line in right, really out to the Astros bullpen in right center.
You know, Cap, one of the biggest things too is the roof is closed, no elements, and it's not like we saw in Cleveland, where the ball that Brantley hit, that the prevailing winds from right field knocked the ball down. Scotty caught it. Remember, a knuckleball pitcher Charlie Huff, I said, "What's the optimum conditions?" And he said, "Inside," because there's no elements. Otherwise, you want the wind blowing in your face. Well, you think about hitting a ball or playing inside versus outside, where you could have the elements. You take the controlled environment, which especially with the humidity outside. See, Lowry's from Houston. At least he lives in Houston. And coming home for him. And then, of course, the A's will go back to the Coliseum or to San Francisco, but they will be in the Bay Area for the final 3 before the break.
One-two pitch, and Lowry checks his swing and a ball down and in. There's Lowry, 2 stints with the Astros and 2 stints with the A's.
Well, the check swing, Jed Lowry, good job of checking there, and so good. And 2 strike, you have to block it, and that's part of being a catcher, knowing the count and what you have to do, especially with the ball in the dirt. Chase breaking pitch.
Pop-up foul. Now, Lowry in 2012 was with the Astros, 97 games, and then 13 and 14 with the A's. 2015 back in Houston. 2016 back with the A's. He went to Houston in 2014 after the 14 season as a free agent, and he got a 3-year contract to leave the A's and come to Houston. And then the A's acquired him back in the middle of that multi-year contract, which had an option on it, and that's what the A's did this year, picked up the option on Lowry, and that's why he is still in an A's uniform. And that was a pretty good move by the A's.
Yes, it was, considering his production. Great at bat by Jed Lowry. And draw a walk with Garrett Cole having to throw a lot of pitches to him. 53 on the night so far. 1 out in the 4th inning.
So here's Chris Davis. Davis struck out in the 2nd inning. Good series in Cleveland for Chris Davis. He was 6 for 14.
June 13th at the Coliseum. It was a game won by the Astros, but it was a game in which Chris Davis went that way. Right field against Garrett Cole and provided the fastball. A 3-2 fastball, which when you have a big lead, that's what you can do. That was a game started by Paul Blackburn. A lot of runs scored by the Astros early.
High towering foul ball. 5 for 20 against Garrett Cole with that 1 home run. Davis had 2 doubles and a homer in the series in Cleveland. Tapped foul, 86 miles an hour. So Davis behind in the count to Garrett Cole. Foul back. A's will face Verlander tomorrow, so Cole and Verlander back to back. Yeah, Chris Davis went around. Larry Vanover called it.
A slider to check swing on the slider. And the pitch, Chris Davis walked back, no question from him about Larry Vanover, the home plate umpire making the call. As this is what Vanover saw. Probably more of the body, but actually made the right call with the swing.
I just realized, Ray, that the Astros, obviously 2 all-star pitchers, Cole and Verlander, right? But the Astros' 2 leading winners are not all-stars.
That's right.
That would be Charlie Morton, who's 11 and 2, and Lance McCullers, who's 10 and 3.
Yeah. And Colin McHugh, they're talking about as a reliever, the sub-1 ERA. McCullers, who curveball master. They've been pretty good. Relievers at 262. Charlie Morton there.
Charlie Morton's 11-2 with a 2.83 ERA. Wow. These will see all the starters except Keuchel.
And Keuchel, just looking quickly at the rotation as far as innings pitched, Keuchel made a couple of starts against the A's. One he went 7, one he went 8. As far as Garrett Cole, 6 2/3, 6 and 6. Different types of pitchers.
Keuchel's starting to pitch a little bit better.
Yes, he is.
He's a little off early.
He better, because he's a free agent. He gets an offer from his team, he better take it. Federovich does a good job, as we saw early on the strike 3, and this one a good block with a breaking ball. See, those are the ones you anticipate, and that's the key, to anticipate with the breaking ball. Talking to Blake Trine today, I thought he brought up a good point, because I've always been an advocate about showing statistics on catchers' blocks. Now, he says, what if I am asked to throw a ball in the dirt and it's not blocked? And sometimes that does happen, where you want the pitcher to throw the ball in the dirt. Matter of fact, with Paul Blackburn pitching on Friday in Cleveland, Scott Anderson said, bounce the curveball. And he says, I'm trying. Well, if you're trying to and the catcher doesn't block it and you get the wild pitch, so it's kind of a mixed bag if you think about it, which is a good point. And that's ideally, the breaking ball is what you want the pitcher to do with it.
So 2-2 to Matt Olson, who popped out to first in his first at bat. Hit high and foul down the left field line, headed for the upper deck, and a fan had got a glove on it in the first row of the upper deck, but couldn't hold on.
Smart hitting by Olson. At least he's trying to go that direction, and
he's never going to have a chance like that again.
Duff from up there. Especially with a left-handed hitter.
Strike 3 call. So the A's strand a runner. Bottom of the 4th coming up. It'll be Bregman, Altuve, and Reddick.
For $39.99, watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand. Your subscription includes MLB At Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite sported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv to take advantage of this sale.
Bottom of the 4th inning here in Houston. No score, first of 4. Astros still looking for their first hit. 1 walk, 1 strikeout for Frankie Montas as he'll face Alex Bregman, Jose Altuve, and Josh Reddick. Astros come in with a 61-31 record. That's the 3rd best record in the major leagues. Only the Red Sox and the Yankees are better. And of course, Houston holding on to that 3.5 game lead over the Mariners, 10 over the A's.
And the Mariners, are they getting ready to? They're playing in Anaheim tomorrow for 3 games. Is that it?
Yeah, they're off today.
They're off today. So they're getting ready. So I'm sure they're watching this game intently.
By month, the Astros had a good start and then had a great month of June. 19-8, and they're 6-1 in July. They're sitting on a 6-game winning streak.
And they're in the midst of an 11-game homestand to finish the first, or at least the pre-All-Star game. This is game 93 for them.
So the Mariners are off. The Angels are off.
Angels a big come from behind victory last night. Yasiel Puig a 3-run home run, but the Angels came back thanks to Albert Pujols and Shohei Ohtani hitting home runs to tie and give the lead.
Driven to left center, but Canna, shaded that way, makes the catch. And the Angels will be off today, then they'll host the Mariners, and then they will be at the Dodgers. So back-to-back weekends against the Dodgers, maybe a little bit like the A's and the Giants are doing starting this coming weekend. And the Mariners, after playing the Angels Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, they will finish the first half at Colorado. You know, the Astros and the Mariners still have 13 games left against each other. They've only played 2 series. So I'm sure the Mariners are looking at that, saying, well, we're 3.5 back. We're hanging in there. I mean, we still play the first place team that we're chasing 13 times.
And that's the way you like it, especially getting the post-All-Star break. And can't say first half, second half anymore, considering the number of games all teams are playing.
Well, the A's and the Astros, this is the 4th series of the year between these 2 teams.
Bob Melvin asking Mike Myers, who's Players Association, one of the assistants and former big league pitcher, he kept saying, how can Jed Lowry not make the club? So Bob Melvin pushing, and fortunately it didn't happen, at least voted by anybody at this point. So we hope that he does get selected as a fill-in. Bob Melvin knows the importance of Jed Lowry to this club in the first part of this season, as we all do.
Altuve, big bouncer up the middle, and just past Simeon, and Altuve has a 1-out base hit, and that's the first hit for the Astros.
Fans, it's that time of the year the Giants make their way to Oakland to open the Babe Ruth Series presented by Gilead Sciences. It's starting July the 20th. The entire weekend is packed with giveaways and promotions, including 80s fireworks on Friday, 1989 World Series champion team reunion on Saturday, a Ricky Henderson bobbleheads giveaway. That's on Sunday. Grab yours at athletics.com/battle. Time to defend the Bay. Should be a lot of fun. The weekend in San Francisco. 4-day All-Star break, and then 3 at the Coliseum, 20th through the 22nd.
Always seems like, especially if you're in the hunt, if you're in the mix, if you got a shot at postseason, which we think the A's do. But you come back from the All-Star break, and all of a sudden it's the middle of July. You had your break. It's now pennant race baseball. You set your rotation up the way you want it to be in the second half.
That's exactly right.
And it always, especially if your team is in it, the start of the second half always had a little bit of a different feel than the first half.
You're right, because you know that really fall is coming, and then there's a lot of things happening, and that's
it's not
October
early
baseball. That's right.
And if you're in it at that point in the season, well, then you have a chance to stay in it the whole year.
Yeah.
And that one squirts away from Lucroy, and that will allow Altuve to go to second base. And Altuve's going to try for third. The throw is there, and he's out.
Thank you very much.
So Altuve knew it. He knew it as soon as he got about 10 feet from third base that he made a mistake.
Thank you very much, because that was going to be one. Lucroy was outside it. He went off the umpire's right leg, and that's what Altuve saw as he was going to second. And he thought maybe Lucroy didn't know where the ball was, and at that point said, I'm going to go. And Lucroy reacted quickly enough, got the ball, and threw out Altuve. And that is huge, because I tell you, the Astros taking advantage, and that ball was supposed to be outside. It's inside. Lucroy reacted nicely, and so a wild pitch and a 2-5 on the putout. Great play for the Athletics.
So 2-1 to Reddick. And now 2-2.
I was just thinking about how we've talked about the little things that the Astros take advantage of. Well,
Absolutely.
This one, you know, you think, well, okay, there's a wild pitch, put him in second, and Lucroy probably thinking he's only going to go for one base. Fortunately, he makes a perfect throw to third and gets Altuve. Because the way Luke went after the ball, sometimes you assume, okay, the ball gets away, it's going to be one base. And the good thing about stadiums now, the distance between home plate and the backstop is not that far. There are some in the past that, man, it's a road trip, and you could take two bases easily, but not in this case. There is the distance, they tell me.
Kind of high fastball. Reddick strikes out, so the inning is over. The hit for the Astros, nothing else. Fifth inning coming up.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
Still no score here in Houston. Both pitchers very sharp, just one hit for each team. Garrett Cole has 7 strikeouts. That's who the A's will face tomorrow, Justin Verlander. Mr. October is what they call him here.
Absolutely. And Verlander pitching tomorrow and on the bench tonight, supporting his team, as we talked about last year when he was acquired by the Astros at the trading deadline. Actually, the postseason deadline.
Nice numbers, 9-4, 2.15 ERA, 154 strikeouts in 125 innings. What was it, maybe 3 years ago? I'm guessing a little bit. He was really struggling in Detroit, and he did not look good. And it was easy to think, maybe a lot of chucks in that arm. Maybe he's slowing down a little bit.
Well, you're right.
Couldn't have been more wrong. Line shot to left and a base hit.
But Cap, you're right, because that was the 4-game series we referenced briefly in Detroit, where the A's went in to face the Tigers 4 games with Anibal Sanchez, Pfister, Verlander, Scherzer. There's a fastball hit hard by Piscotty, landing in front of Tucker in left field. No chance for him to make the play as that ball sinking quickly. And the A's, with the exception of Torrey Hunter hitting a 3-run home run off Grant Balfour, A's would have swept the series in 4, which Verlander, of all the ones there, you thought he was going to be the one to lose because he was not pitching that well. But he has come back, and to the point, Cap, I was talking, someone today said he is about 10 to 12 pitches from being able to pitch every 4th day in a 4-man rotation versus 5, sometimes 6.
Unfortunately for the A's, he straightened himself out in the postseason.
Yes. Oh, he likes the October. You're right.
1-1 to Matt Chapman, who struck out in the 3rd. So the A's, for the first time tonight, have a leadoff man on. .86 miles an hour, an off-speed pitch that probably was not where Cole wanted it. It was up, but he got a swing through. So see where Fedorovich sets up.
Fastball away, at least that's what Cole was going to throw, but maybe changing his mind. Check the cheat sheet. See, let's see, 1-2 count on Stephen Piscotty. Let's go fastball in. Nope, we're going to go slider. That's why he backed off, because he didn't want the fastball.
Foul back.
I said Piscotty, Chapman, who's at the plate.
Simeon to follow here in the top of the 5th.
See, he's gotten away with a couple of hanging sliders, and maybe because of his plus fastball that he's able to do that. Gearing up for the fastball and a bit out in front of the slider.
High pop-up foul. Interesting stuff on Cole in the Astros game notes about how last year he was throwing the 2-seam fastball, which is the pitch where you get a little sink to it. Maybe you want a ground ball. This year he's forget it. I'm not throwing that. I'm throwing the 4-seamer, which is better velocity up a little bit, and look at the year he's having. Last year with Pittsburgh, he was 12-12 with a 4.26 ERA. He's throwing his curveball more this year. His 4-seam fastball, which is the pitch where he gets the good velocity, maybe up a little bit in the strike zone. And he gets a swinging. That one had a little movement at 97 miles an hour. So that is strikeout number 8.
Fedorovich in the inside part of the play, and that's where the pitch was thrown.
So 8 strikeouts, but Ray, it says in the notes that last year he threw his 4-seam fastball 41% of the time. This year 50%. That's a significant increase.
Well, he's got the arm to be able to throw high octane, and there's no reason not to.
Well, this is why he's an all-star for the 2nd time. 2nd in the league in strikeouts, 8th in ERA. The league is hitting just 183 against him. This does not give up a lot of hits. And I have to believe where he's at in his career, he's 27 years old, that him being on the same team as Verlander has helped him a lot.
Absolutely.
Foul back by Simeon. So the count 1-2 to Marcus, who struck out looking in the 3rd.
And the one thing he does, Cap, here is Justin Verlander, who I agree with you, and you get a veteran like that who enjoys pitching and has kind of reinvented some of the things that he has done, although still throwing very hard. But the one thing that Garrett Cole does, you know, the length of his hair. A lot of times he'll take his right hand and push the hair back behind his ear. Now, not saying that, well, maybe that one got away. But I've known pitchers who've put something in the hair, maybe get a little bit extra on it, but it's just something. I'm sure he's just getting the hair behind his ear. This one overthrows, and his catcher, Federovich, not able to go. I tried to backhand the ball, probably thrown too hard to try to get his body in front of it, but it does put a runner in scoring position. This time Piscotty didn't try to go to third.
I mean, I just see with Cole, he pitches with a little attitude,
yes, he
which
does.
I like. I
Absolutely.
think you need to be, and Verlander's the same way. They feel like they're probably and should get you out every time. Now,
and you know, to your point,
that's the way you got to be, I think.
And to your point, the four-seam fastball allows you to do that because
That's true.
you know, you can get up and say, okay, here comes a 99. I'm going to challenge you.
That's right.
And he does, Cole does, probably what a lot of relievers do, and that just comes in and throw hard out of the bullpen. But Cole can do it for 6 and 7 innings.
We'll see if the A's can get a hit here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Get a couple shots at taking the lead. On deck is Jonathan Lucroy. Lucroy, remember, has good numbers against Cole.
And now that last hit, 11 career hits against him, and as we mentioned, it was Lucroy coming up that Cole was taken out. And well, there's a good block that time. That's not easy. That was a fastball. Good take by Simeon. And you know, when Cole called Federovich out, they were discussing the sequence of pitches they wanted to throw to Simeon. And watch the catcher move in front. See, he got his glove that time in front of it. He didn't try to backhand it. Got his body squared up and able to get in front and make the catch, because that could have put a runner at third with the walk. But instead, it's still first and second. 3 starts for Cole against the Athletics. The first one, the 12 strikeout game, he did not walk a batter in 6 2/3.
Well, he's had 81 pitches now. 11 for 26 is Jonathan Lucroy in his career against Cole. Outfield shifted toward right center. Back to Cole. He's got it. Fires. Gonzalez sidesteps, throws to first, and that's a double play. So 1-6-3 double play, exactly what Cole needed, and the A's do not score. A's on the go this season, and stream the games on NBCSportsCalifornia.com and the NBC Sports app, presented by your NorCal Honda dealers. Pitchers duel, big time. Bottom of the 5th, no score, A's and Astros. It'll be Gaddis, Marwin Gonzalez, and Kyle Tucker. hit for the Astros in the game was Altuve's one-out single. He was erased trying to advance. First pitch to Gaddis is a little bit outside. Oh, look at that.
It's amazing.
Since May 12th, he's got 54 RBIs. Every single one of them are against the A's. Just joking. I always say that. Although I do want to check Gaddis's numbers against the A's this year.
That'd be good.
Let's see. Well, how about 7 games, 8 for 24, 3 homers, 10 RBIs in his career, 16 home runs in 54 games.
He's a free agent after this year. Maybe the A's can sign him so they don't have to face him.
He is. Interesting free agent list for the Astros. Morton's a free agent. Not an easy guy to replace. Marwin Gonzalez is a very, very productive player. He's a free agent. Keuchel is a free agent. Gaddis is a free agent. And as we said, the McCann situation with an option. If they did not pick up McCann's option rate, they would have over $50 million coming off their books. Wow. And they may need it to pay some of their young players. But the point is they may have it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Inside.
A lot of people in the audience got hit, but Gaddis didn't.
It was a oomph from the crowd.
I mean, the crowd. And that ball went in, and they all reacted as if they'd been hit. And Gaddis got out of the way.
Two pitches fouled into the upper deck. The Astros payroll this year is $172 million. That's 10th in all of baseball, and that is an increase of $45 million from last year.
Well, remember, Jose Altuve signed an extension, 5 years at $150. When does that kick in?
That kicks in 2020, so they don't have to worry about that just yet. But when it kicks in, it really kicks in.
That's a great pitch.
Yep. Chapman grabs it.
Well, fans, there is a great and affordable way for families to enjoy A's baseball. Among our great community programs is your chance to get 2 free kids tickets with the purchase of every adult ticket for Monday through Thursday home games from now through August. For more information on the summer family program, visit athletics.com/family. That's athletics.com/family. Wow. Got the green shirt on with a green and gold cap. It's a fitted cap, too. It's got too much of a bend in it.
First pitch to Marwin Gonzalez in the first strike.
Marwin Gonzalez yesterday with a 2-strike bunt with Gurriel at third for the game winner.
That's right. Squeezed him in. Yeah. Happened in the 7th inning. Astros won 2-1. If it works, and you know what, you got to have some confidence to do that. And he laid down a perfect bunt. If it doesn't work, listen, it's a bad play if it doesn't work. It's a great play if it does. It's really simple. If Jose Altuve makes it to third, it's like great hustle. If he doesn't, which he didn't, it's a bad play.
Especially with Reddick at the plate and Gaddis due up if he stops at second. 2 chances to drive him in, but he was thrown out. Good recovery by Lucroy and a strikeout by Reddick.
I'll never forget, this was a long time, maybe 7-8 years ago, but you're really good at remembering plays. Remember, I'm going to say a name of an A's. Well, how should I put it? Staffer. Remember when the Mariners bunted with the bases loaded and the winning run scored against the A's? Remember that play? Manfred, that's a bad play. Well, maybe you're right. But it won the game. I don't know what year that was. It could have been a bad play, but unfortunately.
Well, the Mariners are good at that because they defeated the Yankees in the division series with a bunt. Final play of the game. That's when Lou Piniella was managing, and when they won 116, but they did not advance to the World Series.
Here is the young man Kyle Tucker, as he is considered to be the Astros' #1 prospect in the big leagues. He was the 5th overall pick in the 2015 draft, so not a huge amount of time in the minor leagues, and he is in the big leagues. Remember his brother Preston?
That's right.
Who was a high draft pick of the Astros. The Astros traded him to the Braves, and he was a left-handed hitter as well.
Yeah.
Kyle Tucker. If he looks really, really young, AAA numbers, big numbers. 66 RBIs.
His favorite player was probably George Brett, who never wore batting gloves. He's not wearing them either.
And this one's hit to center. And it's hit well, but Fowler gets back there, and Fowler turns around and makes the catch. So that is out number 2. So the 21-year-old Tucker put a charge into it, but again, that is a big, big ballpark. Jeff Luhnow, the general manager.
He's the best general manager in baseball, really, right now, considering the way he has pulled the strings, made the moves in a club that drafted well, and given this young man Tucker an opportunity. And you know, Marwin Gonzalez got back to first base and maybe thinking, why did I tag to go to second?
Well, yeah, I mean, or at least,
yeah,
because you could tell Fowler
right.
was going to catch it.
And as high as it was hit, and Fowler showing that he was going to catch it, there still was time for Gonzalez to go back to first, and that's something the Astros do well. And that is to take the extra base on a play like that to get the score position, in this case for White.
And here's Tyler White.
But you know, at one time Jeff Luhnow was the worst general manager in baseball because they were losing 100 games a season, and now all of a sudden he makes the moves and all the players that developed, and they are, I mean, and to be able to pick up Verlander and Garrett Cole to fortify their rotation. And talking to Max Stassi about her 2 guys in the bullpen named Peacock and McHugh, and he said, yeah, 29 of the clubs would love to have them.
Unbelievable.
So they've got an abundance of riches, and he's trying to do the same thing right now, develop the players, and they're doing a great job doing it.
That one was a slider. Now they joined the American League in 2013, and when they joined, they were not very good.
No. It's 111 losses.
But they started to turn it around in 2015. They were the wild card team in 2015. 16, they slipped back just a little bit, but then last year they won it all. Like 2015, where first trip to the postseason in a while, and they were the wild card team, and
they were a bad hop away from beating the Royals. A bad hop to Correa at shortstop.
Absolutely, and the Royals won the World Series.
Yeah.
You think you don't need a break or two to win the World Series? I don't care how good you are.
That's right. It's playing in the month of October. Whoever's the hottest and can win 11 or 12 games, depending the wild card or your division leader.
Marcus Semien on one hop to Lowry, and side is retired. A runner stranded, and we're moving to the 6th inning from Houston. Top of the order for the A's.
Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Toyota NHRA Sonoma Nationals at Sonoma Raceway, July 27th through 29th. Get your tickets today at sonomaraceway.com.
So no score, top of the 6th inning.
Have you been on that Ferris wheel, Kite?
Nope. Too hot. There's the breakdown. 5 innings for each guy. Just 1 hit allowed by Montas, just 2 hits by Cole. And the first pitch to Fowler is on the outside corner for a strike. I think Larry Vanover's had a pretty good pitcher's strike zone tonight.
Compared to Eric Cooper yesterday in Cleveland?
That would be a much different strike zone.
Yes.
But as we both agree, I'd rather have an umpire.
That's
not
right.
Be afraid to put out the right arm.
That's right. Say to the hitters, you better swing the bat.
Yep.
Right now, Dustin Fowler hit a ball to third base. Nope, not with that swing.
So there's that fastball, 96, just a little elevated, and strikeout number 9. Hey, in honor of the Bridge, the new Bay Bridge Series trophy, local artists along with NBC Sports and the Oakland A's are featuring works dedicated to the fiercest rivalry in the Bay, the Battle of the Bay Art Show, July 20th through the 22nd at the Oakland Coliseum. Tickets at athletics.com/battle.
All right, pull the ball, Mark. Remember, he had a home run off of Edwin Diaz up in Seattle. The 9th inning, blown save. The A's won the game, but big home run by Mark Canha against the hard-throwing right-hander who seems like all those 1-run wins, he's saving for the Mariners. The ball that Canha hit off him was a fastball in. Cole stayed away from it.
It'll be interesting to see what the Mariners do. Their general manager, Jerry Dipoto, likes to trade.
Yes, he does. Oh, yeah.
We'll see if the Mariners, and they are obviously right in the mix for postseason. And when you've gone as long as they have, without making the postseason 16 straight years, you got to go for it.
Yeah, if you get that close, you're right. And with 2 wild cards now, you figure, as we've talked, one's going to be Boston or New York. Seems like they have the records to do it.
That one down the left field line, but he got out in front just a little too far. Home run distance for Canha.
There's the breaking ball. You gear up for the fastball, and as we have seen, where guys, you have to gear up for the 97, 98, 99 mile per hour fastball. When he hooks one, throws the slider considerably slower, then you do have a tendency as a hitter to get out in front of the ball.
Cole kicks in the 2-2 pitch. Fouled right side. 98 miles
Is
an
it
hour.
Garrett Cole and Brandon Crawford brother-in-laws?
Yes.
Yes. That, yeah.
I believe Cole is married to Crawford's sister.
Yeah.
So they can chat at the All-Star game.
Now, he wants Canha to get in the batter's box. You see that? Come on, man. Get in the batter's box. Yeah, he likes that little pace, and see that look like, what are you doing? That.
Yep. Strikeout number 10.
He was not happy with Canha taking the time, so it throws him a nasty slider, a sweeping slider. That's called a chase, 90 mile per hour slider that started probably in the right-handed batter's box and had to see his catcher go way outside 10th or 6th time with 10 strikeouts. Hall of Famer who told not here. It's Cabell, teammate of the Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan, said he won't be back until this weekend. I don't think anybody's going to catch the Ryan Express. Just one of those records between strikeouts and 10 strikeout games. It's going to be hard to do.
On Cole's first 3 starts this year, He struck out 36.
That's right.
11, 11, and 14.
That's right.
And on May 4th, one hit complete game shutout at Arizona. He struck out 16. But that, and again, that was May 4th. That was the last time he had double-digit strikeouts up until tonight.
I don't know if I'd see that happening against the Diamondbacks now. They're a little bit better than they were in the early part of the season. Jeff Mathis gave it up, though. The Padres.
Right. 16 innings yesterday.
Yeah. Will Myers had a home run. They didn't say off who. Off the Diamondbacks catcher. One of them, Jeff Mathis.
Three and one the count. Swing and a miss. So Lowry's thinking, you know what, he's going to challenge me, and he did not.
Well, he didn't, and it's exactly right. And Cole probably knows, as around baseball, first of all, why isn't Jed Lowry an all-star? Number two, why challenge him and let him go deep, which he's already done 16 times this year.
Foul back. Good swing by Lowry on a pitch that was a little bit on the inner half. Jed's, his eyes may have lit up there. Tapped foul. Lowry has hit a fly ball to left field, and he has walked. And he missed outside. 91 miles an hour. So Cole not happy. He's going to go for a little walk. Lowry has walked twice.
Yeah, he's not happy, but I think, to be honest, we saw Friday night when Jed was at the plate and Brent Strom on the phone to the bullpen. It's the pitch count more than anything for Garrett Cole. But, you know, I just think there are times that you don't want to give in to a hitter, and especially with 2 outs. As the pitching coach for the Astros, Brent Strom.
First pitch to Chris Davis. That slider outside. Davis has struck out twice. Outside, very close. That's Brad Peacock warming up out in the Astros bullpen, number 41. Davis, big bouncer, and that's a fair ball, and it kicks off Bregman, rolls toward the side wall, and the A's will have 2 on and 2 out. So the third base umpire, Hunter Wendelstedt, called it immediately.
Well, that's one of those do-or-die plays for Bregman. Ball stayed on the inner half of the plate, and Cole probably happy that the ball didn't leave the park. Chris Davis rolled over on it, and Bregman just trying to go to his right and make the play. Throw across his body, but could not come up with the ball.
So meeting at the mound between Fedorovich and Cole. It's an 11-game hit streak for Chris Davis. Ties a career high for Davis.
I got 6-3 and 2 counts in this game so far, with 2 outs in the 6th inning for Garrett Cole. And that's why he is at 102 pitches, and he went 6 2/3 in his first start against the A's this year. This is in the 6th inning, and he's been laboring a little bit, especially in the 4th and now the 6th inning. Actually 4th, 5th, and the 6th. He's throwing a lot of pitches. Let's make a mistake to Matt Olson.
Olson a mighty swing and miss. And Olson has popped out and struck out. He's 0 for 11 with 6 strikeouts in his career against Cole, so this would be a wonderful time to get his first hit against Cole. And now it's 0-2. That one at 98 miles an hour.
You know what pitchers think in this situation is, all right, I'm done. I am done, and I'm just going to air it out. And no matter what, I'm going to let it go. And that's what he did with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. That's center cut.
Crowd into it. And 100 miles an hour on the inside.
Yeah, he's losing it, isn't he? See Larry Vanover's right shoulder. He went, oh, I think I'll call it a ball. 100 miles an hour on pitch number 105.
And he went with a breaking ball at 90 miles an hour, and Olson had a pretty good swing at it.
But you know, it's the same thing. Now, if he throws 100 and throws that 198 that he missed, and then he throws a 90 slider and he pulled it, that's all you can do, because you have to gear up for the other fastball, and that's why hitters have been pulling Canna. And now
more off speed. Yeah, so you're saying if the ball's middle of the plate or in a little bit on a slider, you're going to hook it.
Yeah, you're going to hook it, because you have to gear up for 97 to 100, and that means you start your swing, and here comes something slower, and you can do nothing except pull the ball foul unless he makes a mistake outside.
And he got him swinging 100 miles an hour, and Olson slams the bat and helmet down, and the A's strand a pair. Show me the Oakland A's into your X1 voice remote and get live stats on your TV. Change the way you experience TV with Xfinity X1. Bottom of the 6th. The Athletics nothing and the Astros nothing. So Frankie Montas back to work as he'll face Fedorovich, and then the top of the order Springer and Bregman. Carlos Correa not really itching to get back out there, but it may not happen until after the All-Star break. First pitch is a strike to Fedorovich. Astros will be home all week. They'll host the Tigers this weekend.
Yeah, nice homestand for them. Nice long homestand as Correa not be at the All-Star break. And you know, thinking, Kipe, a young man who, of course, phenomenal player, great shortstop, great hitter, hit 4th in the lineup. But this is not the first injury he's had. And you just have to wonder long term as far as the Astros. I'd say they're still going to commit to him, but
I'll take him.
No, I agree. No, I agree. But you know, sometimes an injury will prevent a team from really extending a lot of money, long-term contract. But I mean, they're going to make sure they keep him. And I want to say he was what player that they convinced to take less money in the draft so they could spend some of the money on other players. Another player.
Liner Semien leaps up and grabs it. What a play by Marcus Semien.
Now the count helped Fedorovich on this one, but a nice time leap by an excellent basketball player, Marcus Semien. As he jumped and timed his leap perfectly as that ball was behind him. Fedorovich got a 3-1 fastball, but Semien able to take care of it.
Here's Springer.
Frankie Montas throwing strikes tonight and does fall behind here, but with the Semien leap, timed perfectly, gets the first out, and that's a big one instead of a base hit for the 9th place hitter.
Very high, right field, corner, and it's into the seats. You know, you think about that shortstop position, though, Ray, in the American League. Man, it's loaded. I mean, the All-Stars are Machado and Lindor.
Yeah.
Both great players. Then you have Correa, great young player. But think about Xander Bogaerts and Didi Gregorius.
Right. Oh, yeah, a lot of them.
And Simmons and Segura. I mean, these are all really, really good players.
Well, and the thing about them, they're very good defensive players, but also huge offensive players.
Absolutely, but I mean, you can't forget about Marcus Semien and Elvis Andrus.
Yeah,
a lot of good shortstops.
Well, when Miguel Tejada was here, there were about 6. Omar Garcia Part, of course. Jeter was at the time. Cal Ripken Jr. was playing short. I mean, there were a lot of good shortstops at one time. Omar Vizquel. And then the important thing and the key is a lot of those were shortstops from the beginning. And we've always said about Marcus Semien, he's kind of a late bloomer in a sense where he's not played as much as the other guys.
2-2 to Springer. Shallow left center, and it's going to fall. One out single for Springer. Big outfield in that part, and Fowler playing fairly deep. He was also shaded a little bit toward right center.
That was a hit that Springer got to tie a game against the White Sox, a game that they came back and scored 2 in the 9th inning. But it was softly hit, placed perfectly, and that helped him get on track a little bit.
Springer has 6 stolen bases, so that's a small part of his game as well. Bregman, base hit left field. Well, now the place is going to come to life with Jose Altuve coming up.
Yeah, you got to be careful too, because if Bregman swings the first pitch, you know if you get one to Altuve for him to handle, he's going to definitely do it. That pitch, I don't know if it's supposed to be inside, but it was, and helped Bregman just drop the head of the bat on it.
Altuve with a fly ball to center and a base hit. With runners in scoring position, Jose Altuve hitting .355. Just below Mark Kemp. Reddick is the on-deck hitter. First pitch is inside. Did he go? Yes, says Ryan Blackney. Let's see if he did.
Well, he's always aggressive, and just enough for the top hit of the bat.
His wrist broke. Springer at second, Bregman at first. Outfield straight away, infield looking for a double play ball. And now it's 0-2.
Well, he's not going to shorten his swing now that he has 2 strikes, just like he did with 1 strike. And that is a Crawford box swing. That was not a base hit swing. And this is where it becomes tough, because you think you can pitch him with 2 strikes, but you can cover the plate. And as a result, the A's infield and outfield play him kind of straight up, because he does use the whole field.
A little bit inside. 85 pitches for Montas.
Looks like Garrett Cole is finished. His Peacock was up, and somebody's continuing to loosen.
Two. That's Lou Trevino. Popping the mitt. It's a great sound, isn't it?
Oh. That's why as a pitcher you always want to catch it with a good catcher's mitt. To make that sound. You don't want a thud.
Bounced foul. Back-to-back one-out hits for the Astros here in the 6th inning. Jed Lowry doing his best to keep an eye on Springer, the runner at second. Up the middle. Marcus Semien right near the bag. Steps on second. Fires to first. Got him. So a very close play at first base. The Astros may want to double check, but
they check
out
everything.
Was called.
They said no way. Good stretch by Olsen, strong throw by Semien, and the jump ball in the first baseman's mitt, and let's go to the 7th.
So 6-3 double play ends the threat for the Astros.
You want to see the 91st double play the Astros have hit into. This is it. Thank you, Adam. As this ball handled by Semien, a strong throw to first. And also with a nice stretch on a ball hit by Jose Altuve right near the bag. So Semien, no transfer, no flip, just pick it up, tag the bag and throw. And problem in Houston, you got it. Because Altuve just hit into a double play. Frankie Montas gets the double play. And 6 solid innings, he continues, or at least at this point. Meanwhile, the Astros have made a pitching change.
When it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and brake expert. So it's Brad Peacock, one of the heroes, one of the postseason heroes for the Astros last year. They had quite a few, and he's having another good season. 1-3 with a 2.84 ERA. Lots of strikeouts, 53 strikeouts in 38 innings. And see, right-handed hitters are hitting 148 against him. He's got that 3/4 delivery slider, which give me a nasty pitch.
Okay, to your point, he's pitched 2 in the 3rd innings. As you look at the final pitching line, 108 pitches for Garrett Cole, 11 strikeouts, 6th time this season, 10+ strikeout game, no runs, of course, just 3 hits, and Frankie Montas has matched him, which is great. And Peacock, 2 in the 3rd innings against the A's with 4 strikeouts. So exactly like you said, 3/4 delivery. That's something that he had changed to make him a better pitcher, and definitely has had that happen. A couple of different fastballs. Like to throw the curveball.
Now, last year in the World Series, Peacock pitched in 4 games, 7 in the 3rd innings, just 2 runs, and he had 8 strikeouts. Gave up just 4 hits.
And to that point, a starter, just as Colin McHugh was, and now in the bullpen, both of them. But last year, those guys, A.J. Hinch went against the analytics. He had his starters in the bullpen, and they did an exceptional job. And I think we might see that with a few clubs coming up in the postseason.
2-2 to Piscotty. Well, with Peacock and really Colin McHugh, they're both the same. It's the same guy, right?
Yeah.
They could pitch 2 or 3 innings, and they're both having great seasons. Boy, that is very valuable.
Well, the A's know that Peacock is good, but he does not have the fastball velocity that Garrett Cole showed in the first 6 innings.
Left field. Crawford boxes. That baby's gone. 1-0 A's in the 7th.
How about a hanging breaking ball for Stephen Piscotty, who, what a season he is having for the Athletics. Young man with the A's gear on, very happy is Piscotty. A big series in Cleveland, back-to-back games he homered there. As a matter of fact, how about 3 consecutive games that he's homered? 3rd consecutive, a 3-2 pitch, 3-2 cutter his first one. Got a 1-2 fastball second. How about a 3-2 breaking ball here into the boxes? And Garrett Cole leaves. Peacock gives up a home run. Double figures for Stephen Piscotty. It's hit his 10th.
Oh, 2 down to Chapman. So home run number 122 for the A's. They're 3rd in the league in that category. Chapman shoots one to right field, a base hit on an 0-2 count.
Well, for Stephen Piscotty, a great at-bat as he got the count to 3-2. And for a hanging breaking ball, that's what you're supposed to do. And Brad Peacock knew it when he left his hand lifted up in his zone. And Stephen Piscotty, the launch angle, got under it and into the Crawford boxes for a 1-0 lead. And right behind him is Matt Chapman with a fastball to right field with a shift. So on the road, 80 home runs, 46 games. and they continue to do it.
So here's Marcus Semien.
But isn't it amazing how hitters just react from breaking balls? This great shot of Piscotty reacting on the hanging. That was 3-2. You see, most hitters will gear a fastball. But Peacock threw him a breaking pitch up in the zone, and he got under it and crushed it.
So now Will Harris, the other right-hander, starts to throw.
Well, our StatCast home run for Stephen Piscotty, the breaking ball. He got under it. X velocity 96 plus, 37 degree. Launch angle 353 feet. Powered by AWS. All the StatCast.
Semien with a long look down. Matt Williams going through a series of signs. Semien with a strikeout and a walk. Looks like there's a few hittable pitches coming up there from Peacock. You don't say that very often.
Yeah, normally he's got the big sweeping breaking ball. That's why it was surprising. It looked like he tried to do it with Piscotty, but left it up that he crushed.
And that one just missed. Very close.
Watch Federowicz, what he does with this pitch. See how he brings it up into the strike zone? That's why I still say it's important that an umpire, first of all, not have a delay call, because it gives the impression that he's watching the catcher move the catcher's mitt.
Gonzalez in the hole. Out at second, on the first.
Well, you talk about a turn at second base. Bob Melvin saying, let's take a look. Wait a minute. They may want to take a look. But Altuve, watch how quickly he turns the ball. Gonzalez flipped it to him, and he barely. Well, they may be checking second base, too. Did he straddle the bag a second? But staying at second is Chapman.
Larry Vano's going over to the Astros dugout saying, let's go, guys. I need to know.
Oh,
Marcus Semien is coming off the field.
so he's out at first, but they're checking second base maybe, because it looked like Altuve straddled the bag at second. And I know that is something that they can look at, because Chapman is not leaving.
So Chapman is staying at second base. Semien is back in the dugout.
He wasn't on the bag, and I think that's why he made such a quick turn.
Okay.
And I think
So
that's
maybe I didn't see the umpire make an out or save call.
That's a great call, yeah. And maybe that was the reason, and why Chapman fortunately stayed there. Unlike Fowler, who left the bag the other day. I mean, it's very close. But evidently at that point they felt his feet or his foot was not on the bag. He was more concerned about turning the double play that.
Left field, but not deep. Tucker left center. He's got it. So Lucroy is out.
So what is that, a put out 6-4-3?
Yeah.
It's got to be on the ground out, and A.J. Hinch is going to make a move.
So with Fowler, a left-handed hitter. Peacock is gone. Peacock gives up the home run to Piscotty to give the A's the 1-0 lead here in the 7th.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by the Chrysler Pacifica Hybrid, America's first hybrid minivan. Test drive one today.
So the A's with a 1-0 lead thanks to a Piscotty home run leading off this 7th inning. Third straight game with a home run for Stephen Piscotty. Now the A's trying to get an insurance run with Will Harris coming in to face Fowler.
Well, these are called, I mean, this is called matchups and splits, because you don't take a righty out and bring in a righty to face a lefty. And of course, they only have one lefty. But they probably look at Harris as being one who can get out lefties as well as righties.
And for the Astros, this would be a big out to get.
Yep.
For the A's, it would be a wonderful 2-out hit. Get themselves another run. Fowler has struck out 3 times. And he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. You know, Ray, when you strike out 3 times, that the count on your 4th at bat is going to be 0-2. You just know that.
Exactly. And you're up there just trying to make contact, which could be good, especially if you can make contact with the right spot.
And Fowler swings and misses. Fedorovich grabs it, fires to first. And that will do it for the A's, but they get a run and they get the lead. Stephen Piscotty is hot. His 10th home run gives the A's a 1-0 lead as we have reached the 7th inning stretch in Houston.
Team is going to be back in Oakland, and you should too. Join Jose Canseco, Ricky Henderson, Carney Lance, for Terry Steinbach, Dave Stewart, Storm Davis, Mike Gallego, and more. What better way to celebrate the team that swept the Giants back in 1989 than bringing them back during the Battle of the Bay, presented by Gilead Sciences. Grab your tickets at athletics.com/battle for the middle game of the series. That's Saturday, July the 21st at 6:05. That game at Candlestick following a 10-day unfortunate time. Well, the earthquake in '89, those fans are happy. A's are happy tonight as they lead 1-0, but still a lot of baseball to be played here in Houston, especially for the Astros, who feel that they, like the A's, can score late.
So Reddick to lead it off, Gaddis to follow, and then Marwin Gonzalez as Lou Trevino comes in. So Trevino takes over, and it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. 7 wins, 3 saves, and an ERA of 1.41. Trevino has allowed 1 earned run in his last 16 innings. So Melvin, with a 1-0 lead, hands it over to his terrific bullpen.
He just hopes that it might be. Of course, we do not know what Bob Melvin is thinking with Trevino coming in. We've seen him pitch in 2 innings, but we've also seen him pitch the 7th. And Petit the 8th, Stride of the 9th. Let's see what happens tonight.
Lowest ERA among American League relievers: Trinan, McHugh, Rondon, and Trevino. That's your top 4, ahead of Aroldis Chapman. Reddick with a mighty swing, 99 miles an hour. How about this performance? 3 hits, no runs, 2 walks, 2 strikeouts in 6 innings for Frankie Montas.
88 pitches for the right-hander, and he matched Garrett Cole for the 6 innings. I'm trying to see if the bullpen can get 9 outs for him.
Reddick takes strike 3, called on the outside corner.
Frankie Montas for 6 innings, and Montas, he facing or on the mound, facing a pretty good Astros team. There's the ground there. He had 7 of them. And the biggest probably going to be the last one we show, because he did a great job. Got the strikeout with a high fastball, just a couple of strikeouts, but hard, good throw across the diamond by Matt Chapman. Jammed Evan Gattis. Fly ball to third base. Nice job by Frankie Montas. And here's the double. Right now, the double play. This is the 91st turn Astros, and good strong throw by Marcus Semien. Frankie Montas. First 3 wins came 2 against the Royals, 1 against the Diamondbacks. The 2 against the Royals, pretty good run support. Not so much for him against the Diamondbacks, but he did win his first 3. Great job tonight.
1-0 the count to Evan Gattis. Be careful here.
Well, just throw that 99, keep it down.
Popped up. Lucroy's going to come over, but it's going to be into the seats right behind the Astros dugout. Gattis with 18 home runs and 62 runs batted in. Just joining us, Stephen Piscotty with a home run in the top of the 7th inning to break up the 0-0 game, and it's 1-0 A's. Good pitch that time by Trevino, getting in on Gattis with a triple-digit fastball. One-two pitch, got him swinging.
Throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, then that nasty slider. That's why he and Trinan really are kind of a mirror image of the 2, the way they throw. How about that? I mean, that may be a pitch that he's learning from Trinan, because he throws more of a cutter. That was more of a sweeping slider. There's your chase slider. Starts, looks like a strike, especially with 2 strikes, and you're not able to make contact.
So that'll bring up Marwin Gonzalez with 2 outs. Gonzalez shows bunt, pulls the bat back, and the pitch is low. Couple of walks tonight for Marwin Gonzalez. And the bunt into the glove of Trevino on the backhand, and Lou Trevino with a very nice 3 up, 3 down, bottom of the 7th inning.
A's Baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by SoFi, a modern finance company.
8th inning here at Minute Maid Park. And he's leading 1-0 as Canna will lead things off against Will Harris. Both the Mariners and the Angels off today. The A's are 6.5 games behind the Seattle Mariners in the division, and also for that second wild card spot. It wasn't that long ago, Ray. It was 9.5, 10.
That's right.
Now it's 6.5. And there really just is not any other teams involved in the playoff.
Yeah, I was just thinking about
chase.
that. Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't. The only team that is on the fringe is the Rays. They're 1 game over 500. I mean, the A's are 10.
I like your point.
The Angels are, the Angels are 1 game over as well.
And it took them winning in a comeback fashion last night to avoid going a game under 500. But the point that you made is very good, because once the All-Star game is played next week, a week from tomorrow, then it's a whole different game the last part of July, August, and September, because you start seeing the trading deadline at the 31st, the non-waiver trading deadline. Then you have the August 31st, which you have to have a player on your roster to make him eligible for postseason. So a lot of things happening, and you start really paying attention to the out-of-town scoreboards, the standings. A lot of things happen.
Big Manny Machado sweepstakes. Seems like
That's right.
the Orioles get a step closer to trading Machado every day.
Funny thing, he's scheduled to start for the American League, the shortstop. Would he be traded and be in a different uniform before the game is played? It'd have to be done by Sunday. But
This is possible.
it could
We've
be.
seen it.
He's going to be a free agent at the end of the season.
Canna, center field. Well, Springer's right there. Well, Saturday, one of the top scorers in MLS, Danny Hosen, leads the Quakes against the Montreal Impact. Coverage begins at 4:30. Also streaming live on the NBC Sports app. The home of the authentic Quakes fan is NBC Sports California. One-away here in the 8th as Lowry steps up. It always seemed like the Dodgers were the most logical fit for Manny Machado for a whole bunch of different reasons. But I was reading today about the Brewers being very serious about getting Manny Machado.
And evidently, there's about 7 to 10 clubs now that in the sweepstakes, it's a matter of what they're going to offer. Would it be enough?
Yankees are supposed to be involved.
Who's that?
The Yankees.
Yankees, yeah. I thought you said that. The crowd started doing the wave about the time you said that, so I didn't hear you exactly. Waving right now, as a matter of fact.
Altuve out on the grass in shallow right field. Throws out Lowry. Well, 2 teams playing great baseball. Why not check us out? How about what's going to happen tomorrow night? Sean Manaea and Justin Verlander. Game 2 of the series. Our coverage starts at 4:30 with A's pregame live, all right here on NBC Sports California. It'll be Game 2 of the 4-game series. Manaea 8 wins, Verlander 9 wins.
Sean Manaea has had good numbers, good games against the Astros. He hopes to do the same tomorrow night. He's trying to hang on and give themselves a 1-0 lead in the series. A 4-game series and a big series for the Athletics.
(2-0) to Chris Davis, who is 1 for 3. He's got a single and a couple of strikeouts. And now 3-0. In the bottom of the 8th inning, it'll be Tucker, White, and Fedorovich. Bottom 3 in that Astros lineup. Davis was taking all the way, and it's in for a strike.
How about this, Kate?
Yep.
The All-Star, Blake Trinan throwing.
Davis, a mighty swing, fouls it into the upper deck.
Bob Melvin talked about Saturday's game in which the A's tied it. Corey Kluber starting going 7, but they tied in the 8th inning. And Trevino went 2, Trinan 2, and he said, I was going to win this game, do whatever I had to. And he said, we'll worry about tomorrow. That was Sunday, and won that one also.
Davis takes high, and it's a walk, and that may be exactly what Bob Melvin is saying tonight.
Yep, exactly right. But
It's a terrific team you're playing against, so anytime you got a chance late in the game to secure the game as best you can.
But we talked about, and for Bob Melvin and Scott Emerson and ball club to decide what they're going to do in the four-game or 4-day break, whether they change rotation. That was when both Mengden and Manaea were pitching well. Mengden's been on the DL now, so that may change, but still they do have the opportunity in the 4-day break to make a decision how they want to line the rotation for the post All-Star break.
One and 0 to Olson, who's 0 for 3. Ball drops in there for a strike from Harris. Full shift on for Olson as always. Deep in the outfield.
Well, you saw the disgust on the face of Olson his last at bat when he struck out. Joe Smith, the sidewinder. But Olson facing a different pitcher now, not Garrett Cole throwing 100 miles an hour, which he did in the final pitch to him.
Back to the screen. So 2-2 the count. A's with 5 hits, the Astros with 3. And Olson is able to check his swing. The ball rolls around right at his feet.
Olson does a great job. His body always goes forward, but it's so strong with the arms and the upper body that holds up his swing. Fedorovich, a nice job of blocking the ball. Got to get rid of the mask, though. You don't want to take a chance of a balk on the catcher or using his mask.
Two outs. Davis goes, and the ball sliced foul back into the second level.
See how he kind of took his body forward, left the bat back, and guided the bat through with the breaking ball outside. And that's what makes Olson a good selective hitter. Trevino just 11 pitches that he threw in the bottom of the 7th inning. Saw Blake Trinan loosening up, but it did not look like Blake was throwing hard. Just looked like he was throwing.
Olson takes low, and he walked him. So back-to-back 2-out walks for the A's. They have received 5 walks tonight. So Fedorovich is going to chat with Harris.
That's 3. AJ Hitch is coming out. But a brisk walk as he going to the bullpen.
Yes, he is.
Yep.
So when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. drive of the game. The only run in the game so far. Stephen Piscotty, solo shot in the 7th inning. 3rd straight game that he has homered. He's got 10 on the year. And that is our Chrysler drive of the game. And Piscotty's going to hit with 2 on, 2 out. He's going to face the veteran sidewinder Joe Smith.
And the amazing thing about the home run hit by Piscotty, it was on a kind of a sidewinding breaking ball by Peacock that he left up. But Joe Smith's specialty is to drop down and kind of fool the hitters, but he's got to keep the ball on the outside part of the plate, and from the standpoint of a hitter, you got to keep the front shoulder in.
So Piscotty with the home run. He also singled in the 5th and hit a fly ball to center field in the 2nd, facing Joe Smith. Smith just came off the disabled list last week. On it for about a month. Right elbow soreness. And the first pitch, line drive, center field, base hit. Here comes Springer. Here comes Chris Davis. The throw to the plate is late, and the A's get an insurance run, 2-0.
That's amazing, isn't he? So the 2 walks by Harris. And 1 is coming around to score finally. At Piscotty, the pitch inside part of the plate. You can see the catcher Fedorovich move inside. Wasn't hit that hard, and what really helped was the fact that there were 2 outs. Chris Davis breaking on contact and showing his speed. Matt Williams sending him, and a throw that was not particularly that great by Springer. And the A's do have the huge insurance run.
So Piscotty, 3 hits and 2 RBIs, and here's Chapman. Chapman in the base hit in the 7th inning. Hits it hard toward Bregman. Tough hop. He drops it, picks it up. His throw to first. And White stayed on the bag. So close play, but White was able to keep his foot there. But the A's get a run. A couple of walks and then a single, 2-0.
A's baseball on NBC Sports California is brought to you by Toyota. Designed for the grind that comes through every time. See your local Toyota dealer today. Toyota, let's go places. By Southwest Airlines. Low fares, no hidden fees. That's transparency. And by Xfinity. X1 will change the way you experience TV.
So big night for Piscotty. He's knocked in both the runs. He's got 3 hits, and the A's lead 2-0. Trevino back out there, and then the first pitch grounded toward Olson. Olson scoops it up, flips to Trevino. 1 pitch, 1 out. Kyle Tucker is retired.
Bob Melvin on one step in the dugout, but it's almost like it's batter to batter. He's got Trinan loose and probably just had him, hey, get up just in case. And he's get the insurance run after just 11 pitches. Trevino goes back out. Again, Blake Trinan's the all-star representative, but he was just, I mean, he's so supportive of everybody in the bullpen, including this guy on the mound right now, and he helps as many as possible. And I'm sure he and Trevino have talked a lot.
First pitch a little bit high, not much, to Tyler White. Tyler White has hit a fly ball to left field. He is grounded to short. Astros have left just 3 runners on the bases. Looks like to me the only at bat they've had with runners in scoring position was Altuve when he hit into the double play.
Exactly.
Wow. That's pretty good, I believe. StatCast says that's really good. Just 15 pitches for Trevino. 11 in the 7th, just 4 here in the 8th. Chapman charges, he's got it, throws on the run, no problem, 2 outs. Here's Fedorovich.
Well, this is one of the plays that makes this kid very special because he can charge the ball, use his glove on the same running, throw a bullet to first base, chest high to Matt Olson. Other guys have to stop a little crow hop, but he just keeps running and throws very hard. 50th anniversary season for the Athletics, and it's been a good one as they're 10 games over 500. Game number 91 for the club.
High pop up. Reach the seats by Fedorovich. Strikeout and a line drive to short for the Astros catcher. Slider for a strike, maybe a cutter, 92 miles an hour. Had a wrinkle on it.
It's got a cutter. Tony Sepp, the only lefty, and
To pitch, see you later. 97 miles an hour. 6 up, 6 down with 3 strikeouts for Lou Trevino, and we're moving to the 9th. 2-0 A's lead over the Astros. Joe Smith stays out there, the right-hander. A's with a run in the 7th and a run in the 8th. Trying to beat the Astros for just the 2nd time this year. It has been an issue.
That's a great point, Cat, because they won the first game they played this year, but lost the next 8, or have lost the next 8.
So 1-0 to Marcus Semien, who has struck out, walked, and hit a ground ball to short. And that one off the foot of Semien, and he goes down and rolls all the way to Bregman.
You know, one of the things that the A's have done tonight, and this sidewinding pitch right off the left shin, which is no fun. Oh. Well, he's getting back in the batter's box. The A's 9 times they've taken the count 3-2, and that really helped get Garrett Cole out of the game 6 innings. As he had 6. He had 5 in the last start that he made against the Athletics at the Coliseum.
Altuve playing behind second base, throws to first. Simeon's out.
As the Rickey Henderson Bobbleheads giveaway is here, what better way to celebrate the Man of Steel than a giveaway featuring Rickey's Fast Feet? Grab your tickets at athletics.com/battle for Sunday, July the 22nd. That's against the Giants in the finale of the Battle of the Bay, presented by Gilead Sciences. Celebrate Oakland's national treasure, Rickey Henderson, with the best bobbleheads around. Athletics.com/battle today.
Here's Luke Croy. He was 1 for 3, and he takes a strike. It will be the top of the Astros order in the bottom of the 9th inning for Blake Trinan, Springer, Bregman, Altuve. If anybody were to get on, Reddick. Bregman has it, throws on the run, in time, 2 outs.
Hey, Fowler gets another chance.
Yes, he does. Bunt.
Just contact. Let's see, 4, 7, 10. He's seen 13 pitches in 4 at-bats.
And 12 strikes, right?
And 12 strikes, exactly, because he got 1. He started the first at bat 0-1, and then 1-2, strikeout, and he's been 0-2 the last 3 at bats.
I'm bunting, I'm telling you.
Huh?
I'm bunting.
Of course.
Strike.
What did you say he's going to be 0-2?
Of course, it's all, you might as well just go in there 0-2.
And the old saying about how do you get out of a funk? Go opposite field or get hit.
Fowler coming off a pretty good series in Cleveland. He was 5 for 14. Hit a home run, knocked in 3 runs in the 3-game series. Tapped foul.
That had to feel good.
And that one not close. 88 miles an hour, way off the plate.
I'll take the backdoor slider and hit it to left field or down the third baseline. Oh, he's supposed to hit it.
3 call. Well off the plate. Fowler can't believe it. It was about a foot outside. So here we go. Bottom of the 9th, folks. A's leading 2-0.
is presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
All right, here's your game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Bottom of the ninth, 2-6-0 for the A's, 0-3-0 for the Astros. Montas was terrific, 6 shutout innings. Garrett Cole, same thing. A's got a run in the 7th. Piscotty a home run, a run in the 8th. Piscotty an RBI single. So a big night for Stephen Piscotty, and the A's with a chance to get a pretty good win here in game 1 of the series. They lead 2-0 with their all-star closer, Blake Treinen, stepping to the mound. So it's time for change. Think Speedy Oil Change and Auto Service, your trusted oil change tune-up and brake experts.
Basically 2 pitches for Blake Treinen. The turbo sinker, 98 to 100 miles per hour, and the hard slider.
And Springer takes outside.
Why does the umpire have to look at it like, what's Larry Van Over go?
Well, the pitch to Fowler was a foot outside. That one catches the corner. Springer up the middle on a base hit. And Springer hit that one hard, and he's got his 2nd hit. Didn't expect it to be easy.
Nope.
And here comes Bregman with Altuve to follow.
Well, they went center cut with a fastball, no movement on it, and right back up the middle.
So that's 4 hits for the Astros. Bregman had a base hit in the 6th inning. That was the inning where the Astros had runners at first and second, 1 out with Altuve up, and he hit into a double play. Bregman takes a stride. The crowd tonight is 28,301. On a Monday night.
So the first pitch slider from Blake Treinen, good idea considering Bregman, as he did in his last at bat, swung at the first pitch fastball from Montas and got the base hit to left field.
Bregman takes that one a little bit low. 1-1 the count. Treinen last pitched on Saturday, and that was the big win for the Athletics. In extra innings, he went 2 innings and got the W. Bregman pops it up right over our head into the upper deck, and Treinen ahead in the count 1-2, looking for his 23rd save.
Fastball up.
Bregman gets jammed but fights it off.
Yeah, I think the one thing about the fastball up in the zone, it's kind of hard to do if you're a hard fastball slider down in the zone type of a pitcher. And I asked Ryan Buchter about how he does that. He says, I don't like to say this, but I just get lazy, which means he kind of delays following through to elevate the pitch. But Blake Treinen is a max effort pitcher with his fastball and his slider.
Bregman, a little pop up. Olsen should have a play in foul territory, and he's got it. A weak swing by Bregman.
You know, it might have been the first pitch slider that was just enough to get him thinking something other than the fastball, which Springer hit, but as a four-seam fastball, it seemed like no movement.
So here's Altuve with Reddick in the on-deck circle.
And you know, if he throws him the slider, it's got to be thrown hard because this guy's so aggressive on everything. You don't want to take a chance of leaving the pitch up. You throw it hard, which he's capable of doing with a very, very hard slider down and away. And if he's aggressively swinging, which he always does, you definitely do not want to leave the ball up.
On the first pitch, and he was late, 99 miles an hour.
Lucroy moved inside with a fastball location, and he hit it perfectly. Most hitters like to extend their arms, Cat. You know that. Just watch how they extend their arms. So pitches inside ties them up. If you get it in, it's a good pitch.
Close play at first. No reason for Springer to even come close to being picked off.
And he did.
And he was.
Yeah. And the only thing, you know, one and out thanks to Adams, 91 double play ground balls the Astros have hit into, but he tried to try to stay out of a possible double play. Tuve hit in the one with Montasa on the mound.
Swing and a miss. Swung way over top. 98, sinking fastball, and it's 0-2.
Oh, right there, and there's the pitch. Look at the ball sinking down and in. It looks good coming in, but when it ends up, it's almost in the dirt. So a couple of fastballs in. Would he go slider away? Throw it hard.
And Tuve just got a piece of it and rolls it foul up the third base line. Tuve 1 for 3. Outfield is straight away and deep. Swing and a miss. He struck him out on a foul tip. So 2 away here.
Well, they kept the ball down, which is good. And Jonathan Lucroy showing that he did hang on to hard slider, and maybe on a fastball, throwing ball. I hope he doesn't throw a 96 slider. If he does, he's impossible to hit. So look, Cap, here's a situation where Josh Reddick, a good fastball, you want to keep it down if you throw it away. You do not want to leave it up for him.
There's a shot towards center, and that's going to be a base hit. Springer is going to stop at second base. And here comes Evan Gattis.
I'm more concerned about the Crawford boxes with Josh Reddick, but this pitch, similar to the one that Springer hit, it was a little bit up, but he got out in front and pulled it. Pulled it into center field. Consider where the pitch was, but I almost rather see him do that than to make a mistake up and have Reddick delay late and go opposite field. And Lucroy going through the signs should they decide to double steal. As the main guy right now is the man at the plate, Paul Bunyan.
Gattis is 0 for 3. Gattis takes it all.
It's a low.
He's asking Larry Vanover, where's that pitch?
And to be just low.
It was a little bit low. Not by much. Gattis went around. There's that sinking fastball with so much velocity.
Well, that's true too, Cap. Down and in. That's why this kind of a half swing by Gattis He recognized as it was coming that it was a strike, but then also at the end realized it's out of the strike zone because of the sinking action. Well, starting pitcher Sean Manaea.
And that one just missed low. 2-1 to Gaddis. Marwin Gonzalez is the on-deck hitter.
Signs given by the manager to the catcher regarding the runners on base, not a sign. That's all Jonathan looked for.
And that one's well off the plate, and now it's 3-1. Well, can you use a hitter's aggressiveness to your advantage here? Maybe.
Well, he's
on the count.
Gaddis is so strong. He really, if you think the difference between he and Altuve, Altuve is more aggressive and he swings at bad pitches. Gaddis is more selective and kind of knows the strike zone a little bit better.
So we'll get a quick meeting at the mound. This would be a good time to make sure everybody's on the same page. Got to get Ray Foster that t-shirt. Three and one the count. Springer at second, Reddick at first, 2 outs. Three-one pitch and a mighty swing, fouled straight back.
Challenged him with his best. Throw him a fastball. He fouled it back. Do you know what he could do right there, Kite? He throws him that turbo slider that he throws. He's going to swing and miss it. Hard slider, because after that 3-1, he's got to be thinking he's going to challenge me again with a fastball. Just don't hang it. Throws it hard. How many visits? 4? Who cares, right? If you need to talk, talk.
Here we go. Runners will take off. Struck him out. So Trinan strikes out Gaddis with 2 runners on in the 9th inning, and the A's beat the Astros in game 1 of this 4-game series, a final score of 2-0.
And Trinan's talking about it. This is 94. It looked like a front door, something breaking ball. That's a big break coming right on the inner part of the plate. He left it up, but the big man swung through it. And what a victory for the Athletics to win it here and not give up a run.